Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the virtual Citrix Ready Partner Pavilion at HIMSS 22. In this session, I bring a very special guest and a Citrix Ready partner called Nexthink. And on this session, we'll be talking about digital employee experience management software. Let's know more about what that is. But before that, let me bring on my guest of the day, Jonathan. Jonathan, you want to tell our audience who you are and what do you do at Nexthink?
Thanks, Rubal. I am Jonathan Butz, Healthcare Director at Nexthink Software. Before joining Nexthink, I was Healthcare Director at Veeam Software, and before that, I was a part-time CTO for several hospitals, both in the Philadelphia area and on the West Coast in the Bay Area. And before that, I was a Healthcare Solution Strategist and Product Manager at VMware. And if you go far enough back into my past, you'll find that I was once a Citrix Certified Engineer.
Oh, good to know that. All right, thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining the session today. Let's start by understanding what is digital employee experience management, and then I also want to understand how does your technology integrate with Citrix?
Yeah, it's a great question, Rubal. So digital experience as a concept is the measurement and improvement of staff experience consuming applications on endpoints. So we monitor the health and well-being of applications and their operating environments in ways that we know affect the user experience from their perspective. And this is especially relevant for our partnership with Citrix because so many healthcare applications run in Citrix environments, whether as virtual apps or virtual desktops. And we monitor the health and operation of those applications as well as their delivery to endpoints to understand the quality of the user's digital experience. And we gather a wealth of information. I'll give you some quick examples here. We monitor the applications themselves, their performance and their behaviors, crashes, freezes, things like that. We monitor the operating system and the resources utilized in the envelope in which the applications are running. And again, this is true whether we're talking about hard endpoints, whether we're talking about virtual applications or virtual desktops, to allow for right sizing. We look at network utilization and latency because those have a significant impact on the experience, especially now as we have so many people working from anywhere and from home. We have some new variables that we need to be mindful of. And then we also, the technical aspects that we monitor about the operating environment are just one piece of it. We also measure how users actually feel about the quality of their experience consuming apps on endpoints. And we put all of that information together, and that allows us to make meaningful change and measure the outcomes.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing here, Jonathan, is if I'm an end user of Citrix plus Nexthink technology, if there's any glitch in the infrastructure, in the IT infrastructure that I'm facing, Nexthink will be able to pick that up real quick, and help finalize the root cause for that.
It's especially valuable because we collect a wealth of information about how those applications are running. So yes, what you're saying is correct. It's to help understand the quality of the applications as they are running and the quality of how people feel about the experience while they're consuming those applications. And then all of that information is laid out on a timeline per device and per user, so that we can correlate reported and unreported incidents with actual data.
Awesome, that's great. All right, so let's deep dive a little bit into the healthcare IT space. So let's say, there's a healthcare IT organization that's using Citrix plus Nexthink. What do you have to offer for them?
So we talked about the two different elements that we monitor: the hard elements about the application and the operating environment, and then the sentiments, how people actually feel. And once we have that information, now we can begin to focus on the productivity and the quality of the user's experience, make improvements to the environment, and measure the impact of those improvements over time. So this is valuable across the entire healthcare ecosystem. So when we're talking about hospitals and health systems, we're focused on enabling the clinician, because they are such a critical role in the health system because they're actually delivering the care. And all of their work is now utterly reliant on the information delivered by clinical applications. So we need great intelligence about how those clinical applications are running, both, and it's especially important because so many clinical applications are delivered by Citrix. Epic hospitals that are running Epic on premises, the Hyperspace clients all run in their Citrix environments. And knowing critical information about the health and well-being of those Citrix environments and how that hyperspace client is performing is absolutely critical to enabling the clinicians and their work. And this, of course, is true across the entire suite of clinical applications when we get into specialty applications and when we talk about lab, cardiology, radiology, et cetera. All of those specialty applications very often run in Citrix environment. And then when we talk about the insurance payers, we have folks in customer service actually interacting with customers, data and analysts working on new products, executives running the business. All of those folks are reliant on a set of applications both to collaborate and to drive their workflows. And we need intelligence to make sure that they're all operating as productively as possible. And then in biopharma, we have researchers operating with sensitive data. So we have compliance concerns. We need to make sure that all the endpoint agents are properly installed and running. We have collaboration with doctors doing clinical trials. So we have lots of collaboration tools at work, and we need a high quality of those interactions, especially because so many of those activities are now vertical. Then we have data analysts, again, working with sensitive data, and of course, executives running the environment. And all of those, we need a great deal of intelligence about how those applications and operating systems are running so that we can, and how people feel about the quality of their digital experience. Because at the end of the day, the quality of people's experience affects the happiness in their roles, but also the quality of their work. So if we consider the context of a care provider, a clinician specifically, their ability to deliver a positive patient experience begins with them having a positive digital experience. And ultimately that flows through the quality of care delivered and ultimately to the health and well-being of our communities at large.
All right, so I'm sold as an end user. If I'm a clinician at a big hospital, your application, your technology sort of enhances my experience of day-to-day work. Let's go down to IT admins now. Forget that there's Citrix written on my t-shirt and in the room behind. Imagine I'm an IT admin sitting at a big hospital. I have an IT infrastructure with hundreds and hundreds of applications.
Yeah.
How does your solution help me?
So it's a really great question, Rupal, because so many of the solutions that we've used to monitor the health and well-being of platforms and applications have been data center centric today. And that's great for performance monitoring of the back-end infrastructure and for capacity planning and things like that. But it is possible to show that everything is happy in the data center and still not have the highest quality of user experience out on the endpoint. So we provide a wealth of information that enables IT to pinpoint issues and prioritize their resolution, then to make those changes that are meaningful and measure the impact of those results through the constant improvement of a digital experience score over time. So IT is the primary consumer of the information delivered by our platform, and they use it to reduce the number of total tickets, to reduce the mean time to resolve those tickets, and to proactively address issues that haven't even been reported by end users. And again, the specific categories we're talking about performance issues, resource constraints, crashes, connectivity challenges, and things along those lines.
So there's something that piqued my interest. You said that you actually remediate issues even before they reach the users. Is that what you said?
Before they're reported. This is a particular challenge. It's a challenge in many environments. Our data shows that about 50% of issues that user experience go unreported. We have data from some of our healthcare provider customers that among clinicians, that number is even higher. More like 70% of issues go unreported because they don't have time to open the tickets and they don't have time to work the tickets. So they're more likely to ignore issues and be unhappy about them. But the wealth of information gathered by our platform allows us to see problems that have not been reported and address them proactively. And that's really what we're all about, shifting the support role from a reactive function where we receive and work tickets to a proactive function where we're scrutinizing the environment with the wealth of intelligence delivered by our platform to get ahead of problems and resolve them in a proactive fashion. And this is what really results to the reduced ticket volume in total over time.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. It's great how your solution sort of is proactive rather than being reactive. And I think there are very few players doing that in the market today. So let me come to that point. How do you differentiate in the market from others?
So we are forerunners of digital experience. Our solution is the only one in the marketplace that was purpose-built to deliver digital experience and allow improvements there too. And Forrester has produced a Forrester Wave for this category, in which we are featured most prominently. And Gartner has begun to do research and analysis in this space as well. And we expect to we'll see a Magic Quadrant from them at some point. I'm not sure exactly when, but. Because we examine, there are other platforms that have come at this from other directions, focused on application performance or data center performance. But again, that's only part of the puzzle, as I had mentioned earlier. The real value comes in combining the perspective of applications and operating systems at endpoints as perceived by the user, data analyzed in ways we know affect the user experience. That's still only half the puzzle. Then we have to add the sentiment, how users actually feel about their puzzle and about their experience, and we do that with quick surveys. How did you feel about how long it took to log in today? And we allow them to score that. That data arms us with so much information and allows us to focus our support efforts, and that is something where we are unique in the marketplace.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jonathan, for that great overview. Now, if our audience want to learn more about Nexthink, is there any place you want to send them to?
We'd love to send you to our profile page on citrixready.citrix.com for more information. And of course, you can go straight to nexthink.com for information directly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Jonathan. Any last words before you wrap this up?
The first thing you'll learn is when you start to explore the arena of digital experience and the impact that it can have on your staff and their work in healthcare, the next thing you will think is Nexthink.
Awesome, that's great. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time today. If you are at HIMSS Trade Show this year, do visit us at booth 5043. If not, keep watching these sessions. We have a few more lined up for you. Signing off for now, but see you on the other side. Bye.